Welcome to Next Chapter Women, She Blooms in Solitude, a podcast for moms over 40 with independent or young adult children ready to rediscover who they are now. I'm Jess Bordas, joined by my co-host Maureen Mansi, and each week we'll uncover how to heal, grow, and reconnect with your inner strength through intentional alone time, emotional wellness, holistic care, and powerful mindset shifts so you can define your identity and reshape what middle age means for you. As certified mindset and identity coaches, holistic practitioners, and moms navigating midlife ourselves, we're here to walk with you. Join us in using solitude as the foundation to bloom again. Welcome to Next Chapter Women, She Blooms in Solitude. If you've ever felt like there's more to who you are, but unsure how to find yourself, maybe you feel afraid to put yourself out there into the world as a woman and not just a mom, or possibly feeling unfulfilled, you don't feel like you have a higher sense of purpose, know that you are not alone. We've been there too. And in this episode, Maureen and I are going to share the story of how we went from feeling many of those emotions to living a life in clarity, having purpose and inner peace along the way, and why we basically created this podcast to help you guys do the same. So welcome. Hey, Maureen.
Hi, how you doing? Great to be here.
Yeah, this is fun. So this is our first episode. I'd like to bring up some emotions that I'm sure you'll identify with some of these. I know that I probably felt all of these, but there's certain ones that I identify with more. And for our journey began to get us to this point, there's some pretty bad emotions, negative emotions that, each of us were feeling like we weren't maybe in the best place. So here's some of them. Ready? Isolation, loneliness, depression, confusion, frustration, anxiousness,
Mm.
boredom, feeling lost, feeling disconnected, feeling invisible. And none of this stuff is good for someone because there's emotional, mental, physical, and relational costs to feeling those and staying in a place where you feel those things day in and day out. If you look back to the start of, your journey or this journey that we're on, do any of those emotions, those negative emotions stick out to you?
Oh, of course. I mean, a big one is for me was anxiety. So when I'm anxious, I get a whole feeling in my body, whether it's in my throat or it's just I feel frazzled, I don't feel focused. And I mean, that creeps up a lot. I mean, it runs in my family, but I know that a lot of what I was feeling with my anxiety was coming from feeling lost, confused, not knowing what my next purpose was in life, feeling like I wanted to rise again in a different way than how I was living my life in my current job and raising my son. I just started to feel like it's humdrum. But I didn't know where to go. So anxiety would creep up. I would feel down and out, confused, isolated, because I just didn't know what my higher purpose was at that time. I knew there was something that I wanted to do more, but I didn't know where to start. Jess, how about you?
Yeah, same. I mean, I definitely felt that to the core of myself, this feeling of there has to be more because you know that your kids are getting older, they're getting independent, they don't need you in the same way. So it opens up a time where you could move on to do something else. What is that going to be? Because this day in and day out of what I'm doing is not meaningful. I need what I'm doing to be aligning with my core values. If
Right.
I'm just stuck in this, doing this work, this job, this 9 to 5, which by the way, we had to do because we're single moms and we've got to pay our bills. But that is not a pleasant feeling when what you're doing every day, it's not aligning with your core values. You want all of the areas in your life to be matching and in alignment with your values. But I definitely remember feeling a lot of those things and many of them all at once being frustrated, confused, anxious. I mean, one thing that I really struggled with was, where is my life going? I saw these words pop up the other day on my phone in this vocabulary app that I had, and it said notice Tollens. And I'm like, "Oh, what's that?" So, notice Tollens is when you have a realization that your life story doesn't make sense anymore. So that for me would sum up like a point where I was at. I'm having a notice Tollens. I'm having this realization like, okay, things are going to be wrapping up here. My kids don't need me in the same way. And then it's like you talked about, when your kids start to drive and they're really self sufficient and it's
Mm.
helpful, but they're needing you less and less and less. And it's becomes, so what now? You feel inside of you, I don't want to call it emptiness, but like a yearning for more.
Right.
So,
And so when I got sober, I was living a life of sobriety. It was awesome. And I remembered spending time with my mom, and I remember being in my bedroom and I was getting ready for the day. And my mom said, "You're going to do great things. You have a bigger purpose in life, Maureen, whatever that is." And it got me thinking. She called it out. Now, my mom's been like my guru over the years, and she's a very spiritual woman. She's had a big impact on my life. And at the time we were talking, because we were talking about pretty intense, like inner stuff. And I didn't really think anything of it, but it always stuck in the back of my head. Yes, I'm sober now and I'm on a great journey. But I felt lost and like, what is my bigger purpose? What am I called to do? What was I put on earth to do? And I wanted to have purpose in my life and I wanted to create an impact on other people, women, um, to know that you can have bigger stuff in your life if you really, really want it. And so then it brings us to me and you with us connecting
yeah.
as best
Well,
friends, and all of a sudden go ahead.
yeah, well, we both were feeling a lot of these feelings at the same time. And then we both kind of were like, what could be more for us is starting a business. We need to start a business. And we had no clue what we were going to do. I remember being in a parking lot talking to you because at the time I was Instacarting to supplement my income as a
Mhm.
single parent and being like, hey, we could do something like this. We were kicking around all these ideas and we knew that we wanted to create something, and then it led into vending. We were going to try vending. I don't know if we want to get into any parts of that or skip that part of the story, but it is part of the journey. Because if someone's listening and they've had similar feelings where they want more, they want to do something, they're like, I want to make a business. I know I could do something more, but I'm not sure what. That's actually a part of it. You don't know what to create. You might have an idea or maybe you don't.
And so when we talked about the vending, we just wanted to bring in some other income. Right? And do something other than what we were doing and do it together. So like vending, what kind of purpose is that going to serve in our life as people and what align with our values? But we were like, let's just
Yeah.
go with it. Let's just go with
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
Yes. To get something started.
Right.
That was the point. Whether or not it worked out or where it was going to go is the point of starting something. Learning to form an LLC and all these things on the front end of forming a
Mhm.
business that even though the vending didn't work out, we'll spare our listeners by going through the vent.
You're right. Yeah, we'll spare you the details of that.
It was just the point of taking the action, not just sitting with the feeling, because that happens, right? I mean, people could sit there forever and say, I want more, I want to do something, or it's on your to do list. Like, I'm going to start that business next year, the new year. Just taking that step and doing something
Right.
was huge. And then along the way, then just like you said, we realized that, like, okay, Mm, all right. We couldn't get passionate about vending. Let's just put it like that.
Right. And we tried our hardest, and we would get together on weekends and we formed LLC. The biggest thing was that we learned how to start a business up, and Jessica is very resilient and she's very smart and she would figure it out. She's like, we can do this together as a team. Like, we don't need anybody to help us with this stuff. We're going to do it ourselves. And we
I
did.
did say that. I
Yes,
remember.
and she was very insistent on, "We're not getting help with any of this. If we can do it ourselves, we're doing it." And it was that power in us as women, like, we don't need anybody to help us right now, and we will ask for help when we need it. We had each other, and that was, like, the great thing is that we were a team and we had each other to
Yeah.
help us, and so that's where the support was. We supported each other and always figured it out. But when doors were closing or things weren't opening up, the divine was saying, intervening and saying, okay, great, but no. But we just went with it.
I think also there's a learning curve to anything.
Yeah.
But now looking back, I think what was happening was we were getting started on learning how to do something on the side while being single moms, working full time, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and how to make time to fit this into our life. I feel like that's an important part to highlight because we're in situations where we don't have support and help, and
Right.
we do it. I feel like we harness that as our power because if you can do that and you can get through that and you can confront your own mindset day in and day out and do the work, then you know what? You can do anything. You can start a business. You can do anything you put your mind to. So there's a
Right.
there's a lot of power in that.
Absolutely. And we were called to do something. Okay, maybe it wasn't the right thing for us that aligned with us, but we started somewhere. It was just stepping out of our comfort zone and doing something other than our everyday. And I feel that that was the shift that came for us to get more clarity in where we were really headed. So I just want to emphasize that the shift came when we decided we wanted to start a business. We were doing something more than our everyday life, and our kids were getting older, and we just started to feel like we had a purpose.
Now,
Like,
mind you, while that is the shift, there's something else parallel going on to all of this because we know we want more. We're taking these decisive actions to do this thing, but we're also still doing a lot of internal work together, but separately. We started to really look at our relationship with ourselves. So we're doing this work simultaneously as
mhm,
we're trying to build
mhm.
this business, which I feel that doing that work along the way was an integral part of getting to, like, where we are today. So that was all unfolding as we were doing this.
Right, and without the tools that we've used, meditation's a big one for me. Just being in solitude, meditating is my big thing. Jess, yours is walking in nature. If we didn't do these things to help us get to that place where we wanted to build a business, we didn't just get clarity not with working on ourselves as women. We needed to find that inner power with the tools that we use to get to that point. You're never going to do it if you're not working on yourselves. There was a lot of mindset shifts. There was a lot of there was a lot of listening involved. There was a lot of noticing the beauty around. And then that's when it started to happen. And that's when the shift worked in, like just from what we
Yeah.
did to help ourselves to get to that point.
I do feel like it's important for listeners to hear the start, to hear the beginning, and the message being that these things are attainable. If you're listening now and you've done any of these things, like whether or not you're a single parent or wherever you are, maybe you're not a single parent, just being a woman at this age, I mean, can we talk about that? Because that's not easy either. This is not an easy
Mhm.
time for us in midlife. There are so many things going on with the hormonal piece being just one aspect alone that is huge.
Yeah, sure, because we're starting to go through perimenopause. Our emotions also too are affected by the chemical changes in our body at this age. And sometimes like I can take care of myself and do all the inner work that I want in myself. But I'm saying to myself in these days, and I'm just like, why do I feel so aggravated today? Why do I feel really down today? And I just want to cry.
Yeah.
And it sometimes it just doesn't matter. The work you do on yourself at this midlife age, it's something you can't control when your
Thank you.
hormones and chemicals are just going out of whack. right now. And I'm dealing with it right now. And Jess, we're dealing with it. And it's not easy. So anybody listening to this, we hear you, and we're at good places, but we struggle. We have a daily struggle. It's work every day, and sometimes if I
Yeah.
can't help it, I'm like, it's got to be my perimenopause. I just blame it on that.
Yeah, it's
Right.
just all of these things are normal, and just because you're healed or you're at a place where you're overall feeling inner peace, it doesn't mean that, rainbows are shooting out of your ears every second of the day. You're human. You can be peaceful overall in your life, but still have a bad day. It's the coping, how you choose to address it, and the things that you choose to do daily to help get you through these moments.
Absolutely. I mean, we're spiritual beings having a real human experience. We're human. We're not going to have good days all the time. And I just know going through this journey with you, like we would talk and maybe have a bad day together. And I remember calling one day or you, and I'm like, let's just go meet for a walk. Like we just needed to get out and just breathe and fresh air and just like that's and I remember that day that we met at the park. I'm like, we got to do this more because when you're just isolating yourself and you're having these feelings you just don't know how to overcome 'em, we just get out. Let's
Yeah,
try to meet each other and let's just let everything go and be in fresh air. And
that's been part of our healing
mhm,
process. Walking
absolutely.
has helped me heal in so many ways. Just doing it consistently and ensuring that I'm getting those walks in, it's free therapy. I'm dead serious. It's
Right.
free therapy.
Yeah, and that helps you reconnect with your inner self. When you're in nature and you're outside, you're connecting with everything that's around you and then it just connects and hits here. Walking is the best thing you can do and that's free. Like if you can move,
Yeah.
you can do that, and even if it's a little bit, but it's a start. And it's really been a healing tool in
Yeah, I mean, I was on this hike at Smedley, and it's that same loop that we always do, that's that 3-mile loop, and maybe this was 2 years ago. I'm walking, and I get to the middle, like 1.5 miles in, where it's almost the peak of that place where we meditate,
Mhm.
and and I'm there, and there's no one around, and all of a sudden, I don't know what came over me, I start crying. I feel something outside of myself, like, I feel something, like, really just an energy outside of myself, really big, and I just start crying, and, part of me is like, "What is going on with me? Like, what is this about?" And now looking back, it could have been one of 10 things, but that was part of my healing journey. It was a
Oh.
cleanse. It was it was a release. I was releasing all of it, and has leaves me smiling today. Whatever I released, oh man.
I mean, the releases are the best thing, and us as women going through this, let yourself cry. There doesn't even have to be something that, like, bad happened. You just need to cry and get it out.
I
That's
know.
what
Talk
we
about the crying. You're so good about that because you tell me that all the time. Like, talk about the crying because I'll always go to a place, and I'm not going to go down my whole history of childhood and why I feel like this, but just saying, I'll be like, I don't know why look, I'm about to cry right now. I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with me.
I cried so much yesterday. I listened to Wayne Dyer. I don't know if anybody knows him, but he is a spiritual teacher, leader since his past. But I listened to a lot of his stuff, and his comeback video, making a comeback, came up on my YouTube feed yesterday, and wow, it just resonated with me so much, and I was crying. I was crying because everything he was saying is this journey that we're on together, Jess, making a comeback, and all those setbacks weren't failures, but they were setting us up for something bigger. And instead of us giving up, we just moved on and we were led to something else, something bigger.
That's a mindset shift.
Mhm.
To have this and to know and use that as a tool. This is important for the listener to say, this is setting me up. and making way and clearing space for something bigger.
Right.
Whatever you're going through right now, you know you're going to come out on the other side of something,
Mhm.
but you have to go through it to make way for something else. I just thought that that was really a great
Yeah.
example of a mindset shift.
Right. And I'm using a lot of my intuition right now and going with what feels right inside. And some of the things we're learning along the way as coaches is sometimes the things that we're asked to do don't feel right for us. And if it's something doesn't feel right for me, I get anxiety. I know that that's not going to work for me. But I've noticed that other doors are opening and we're being led in other ways by listening to what's coming to us inside. And it's
Yeah.
divinely guided.
That is one way that I always tried to live my life because my mom lived her life like that, and we were brought up like that. If something doesn't feel right, so that gut feeling, that instinct, if something feels off, if something isn't going to work for you and align with where you're at in that present moment, or if it's going to bring in feelings that will not serve you, then don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
But it's easier said than done.
Um, then maybe you do it. And there's a lot of resistance along the way. And it doesn't feel good. And when something doesn't consistently feel good, listen to that. Listen to that inner voice. Listen to that intuition inside of you because it never steers you wrong. Your intuition is real. So use it. You just always recognize it and be like, this doesn't feel right, and say, "Okay." And then maybe let it go, and maybe you don't know where you're headed, right? We try to control a lot of things in our life. We think that we can control everything, and let go and let God, because then He's gonna pave the way. You have to give it some space to kind of manifest. Not saying don't
Yeah.
put the work in. Put the work in, and then let it go. That's when the things really start to happen because you're not trying to control and say, why is this not happening? Because it's all in God's divine timing. And
It will come if you're putting in the work and you're making decisions that and doing things that align with your personal values. And it's like you just said, it's not instantaneous, but just keep doing it. Keep doing, and there will be gifts. Things will come. The universe has a way of, bearing gifts to you. You don't know when or where the good will come back to you. It will. I've had many, many blessings and many gifts,
mhm.
things that came back to me that I had no clue I would ever was going to receive or where it even came from, but it's a gift.
God is great. He really is. And if you're open enough to see his grace, a lot of wonderful things will start happening.
Yeah, that's for sure. So let's talk about today. What does today
Okay.
look like for us?
It looks really great. I feel like I mean right now, I feel like we're what, it doesn't look great?
No, it does. It just because there's no other way to say it but besides saying it looks really great. I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily know that I knew that I was using specific tools. I didn't at first realize that
Mhm.
these tools that I was using were bringing me inner peace. I knew they felt good, so I kept doing them. I didn't set out that way,
Right.
but in the beginning, did you set out and sit there and go, okay, today I'm going to use this tool? No. Did you know what was happening? I was
No.
just doing things that felt good and that were helping me. And
Right.
so if we look back, why are you laughing? You look like you're
No,
about to laugh.
because I remember doing this meditation, and I guess was this last year, and it was 11, do this meditation for 11 days, and at the end of it, something wonderful is gonna happen.
Did you do that? I don't remember this
So I
story.
did it for 11 days straight. It was with Lisa Watley. She's amazing, giving her props. And I remember my Kathleen, my twin sister, and my mom did this meditation for. If you do this every day, you're getting ready for something big. So at the end of it, me and my mom and my sister talked about this meditation for 11 days, and I'm like, this is it. The life, just being filled with your life as it is and feeling happy with just being happy and joyful in your purpose in life right now. This is it. You just have to see the beauty of the life you're living now. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get $100,000. If that happened, that was great. But there was something bigger in that message to take from it. It was just, life is good. So let's just be
Yeah.
grateful for it. I'm present and enough to know that.
Yeah, and sometimes though, you can have external factors and circumstances and
Mhm.
things going on in life that are out of your control, and it's makes it very difficult to experience and feel inner peace or the way that you hope to feel because of these things going on. For me, when this journey started around the time of making this business, things weren't really in my mind sunny and rainbows. It's difficult to be a single mom and have no support whatsoever. I feel like a lot of mindset work is necessary because it's how you choose to face the day with those external factors, with those things going on.
Right. And to your point, I'm speaking of this past year. There was a health scare in my family, and it was something that affected everybody, and it turned out to be, it just kind of got to the point where the news was never good. But I'm going to take to what you're talking about, Jess, and saying, okay, I God used me to be there. And instead of fretting and being fearful and crying all the time about it, or he used me to be there to help during the situations and during this situations of this issue. And I was like, okay, God's used me. How can I be here? And
Wow. That's really huge.
it's because it was a very stressful time in my twin sister's life with her husband. And I said, okay, God use me. So I said, how can I be of help? And I said, oh, I can be the driver to the hospital and back, take that stress off. And that might seem small to somebody, but I wanted to do that. And I mean, everybody was ever so grateful. That was like a really big thing because, during this health crisis, when you're going through a lot of things in your head and the stress of it, you just take driving out of it because driving on the road these days.
Yeah, but it's also probably not just the driving part.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's also the emotional piece too. This whole driving thing too, as a single parent, is a big thing too, because I remember going from feeling so frustrated of driving all over the place by myself, because that's just how it was. I was the person responsible for doing that and feeling like, oh my God, we're always on the road. Here we go again. To thinking that last year when a lot like my daughter was a senior and she was about to go off, feeling just so much more inner peace and thinking, okay, I'm going to view this completely differently. These are my last moments I have to be driving this person around. So it,
Hmm.
this is a gift. This isn't a source of frustration anymore. This is a gift. And like, let me just be present and be in this moment and enjoy something that was a source of frustration before, but now I want to enjoy it because it's going to go away. I don't know.
Right.
That was just when I hear driving. I just think about that.
Oh, absolutely. And, things come up and creep up. And are they happening to us? Or are they happening for us? Because we're here on this earth to learn lessons. And the things that happen to us, we can say, oh, this is terrible. It always happens to me. Nothing good ever happens to me. And then if you have a mindset shift, or, you can say, oh, wait, but there's a lesson in this. Why is this being handed to me? Is it a lesson? I'm either going to learn the lesson or I'm not. And I'm going to keep getting
Like,
frustrated.
I remember I was at a place where I said these exact words to your sister. I was like, if one more thing happens, I'm going to just I think I'm gonna have a heart attack or something. I don't know if I can physically handle one more thing. And because just so many
Mhm.
huge life events were unfolding and happening, this set of circumstances, without going down that road of just death, 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 and then being a
Right.
single mom and losing, you're losing this apartment, you have to find a new place to live, and then whatever it was, there was something else. I'm like, if one more thing happens, I can't. But it's hard because in the moment you're not thinking like that,
Mm,
especially when you have huge, like I said, life
oh
events
god.
going on. But
Yeah.
then, as you start to learn and grow, that small shift of thinking, okay, what you said is very powerful. This isn't happening to me, it's happening for me. For
Right.
me.
Yeah.
I would say the biggest thing that I would say to people when a lot is happening, if you could hold on to thinking about all of the things that I've been through and knowing, like, I'm going to get through this. This is bad. This is really bad and this sucks, but I'm going to get through it because I've been through some terrible things and have led me to this point. And if I can go through those things, I can go through this. So I'm not bringing this up to wallow in the past or pain, but to more so discuss mindset
Right.
and shifts that you can have no matter what you're going through.
Right. And I mean, and going way back, and I'll touch on it lightly. I left my husband, and I didn't have anything, and I left, and something in me said, "Okay, that was a really big thing for me." But I did it because I knew I was worth it, and I knew I was the one that had to be the change. When you know that you're worth more, you're going to do anything you have to overcome a challenge or get through, losses in your life.
So it sounds like some of the things that we're saying are, one, self awareness, identifying these emotions or whatever you're holding on to at this moment, knowing what does not serve you anymore.
Mhm.
So the self awareness to identify these things, that's a starting place, wouldn't you say?
And then intention. We can have a lot of intentions, but, are you going to stick to, your intention? How do you wake up in the morning? You're aware of these feelings. What is your intention for the day? And I know for me now, present day, I intend to do everything that I set out to do. And if I don't, that's okay. But I have a lot of intentions for each day, for our business, for getting through the day with a positive mindset. And, some days are better than others. Intention is a really, really big thing.
So that's something for your present moment that's super helpful. But then also, it's helpful to create a vision for yourself. Envision yourself as wherever it is that you want to be, wherever you want to get. What do you see around you? Who are you? What do you look like? What are you doing? Who are the people that are around you? Just creating that vision of the person that you're meant to become is very important because that's something that you need to hold in your heart as you're going along in your journey, right?
Oh, absolutely. Where are you now? And where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself? If you're not so happy right now, you can get to a better place. And we can help you do that.
Also, why we created this podcast. For one, it's to build connection. I don't know how you feel about it because I know that it's impossible. I am not the only middle-aged woman out there who felt those set of emotions that we described in the beginning. And sometimes they crop up again now. But I know I'm not
Mhm.
the only
Oh yeah.
person who has felt those things. So one, a huge part of creating this is to build connection, come together. What you're trying to do, what you're about to embark upon is not easy.
Mm-mm.
Trying to create, to discover yourself, who you are now, and develop your identity further and create a new identity, if you want to call that, or just improving the relationship with yourself. These are not easy things. They can be done, but it takes a lot of work.
If your intention is there, and you know that you're worth, getting to another place, and another really good place inside, and you can get there. Reach out to us. What we're trying to bring to people is that we're human just like you. We're midlife women just like you that were lost, confused, down and out, didn't know our purpose. I mean, and it's not without still a lot of hard work today that we're still trying to get to our next chapter. And we realize that our purpose, our big purpose was to help like-minded women. We want to impact you in a positive way, and a lot of people don't know where to start.
There's a set of parameters, a set of specific steps that you can take to get you to your vision, whatever that is. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe, I don't know what you're trying to do. It could be anything. You can achieve it. You can do it. But there's a lot of inner work that goes on.
Yeah, because
So,
it's all from in here. If you don't have it
yeah.
in here, it's gonna be hard for you to get to where you wanna be.
Yeah, exactly. The timing won't be right to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve.
Mhm.
And I feel like having this conversation allowed people to understand who we are, more about us, and where we're trying to go with this in the future. And I don't know about you, but I can't wait for future episodes and, the stuff that we're going to talk about. And there's going to definitely be a lot more guests that are going through the same exact stuff. So, I'm
Mhm.
excited for what the future holds for this podcast.
Yeah, me too, Jess. It's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for being here with us today. And until next time, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Next Chapter Women, She Blooms in Solitude. We'd love to hear from you, so come say hi on Facebook and share your biggest takeaway from today's episode. And if you're ready to rediscover who you are in this new season, you can learn more about how we can help or book a free empowerment call through the link in the show notes. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss what's next.